All right, so we're going to start lying down on our backs. So just however you can comfortably come down onto your back. And we're going to keep the knees bent up towards the ceiling. And we're going to walk the feet out about mat's width apart. And then we're going to let the knees come to rest towards each other. So the knees are holding each other. You might place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. Maybe you place the arms down by your sides. We're just going to take a few minutes here to get ourselves centered into this space. So whatever you were doing before this practice, just set that aside and really focus on taking this time this morning for yourself. To move your body, to stay connected to your breath. And then just start to notice your breath. On the inhale, notice how the body rises, filling with your breath. And on your exhale, notice how the body lets that breath go. Inhale to fill up. And exhale to let the breath go. Just notice the parts of your body making contact with the mat, the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, your back, your hips, the feet, and just softening into the mat. So you might ask yourself, why did you come to your mat this morning? What inspired you to carve out this time for yourself this morning? And just take a few more breaths here. Again, really just bringing ourselves here into this space. Slow, steady breaths in and out through the mouth, the nose, whatever feels best for you. So again, just one more reminder that this is your practice, so I will be your guide, guiding you through the poses, but you know your body best. So do what makes you feel the best this morning. If you have your hands somewhere on the body, let's bring the arms down by our sides. And then we'll slowly straighten the legs. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and then point the toes. So a nice big stretch in the front and the sides of the body. And then exhale, bring the arms down, soften the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up, point the toes. And then exhale, arms down. So do that a few more times with your breath and your time. So eyes can be open or closed. So we're letting our breath guide our movement. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach arms overhead. And next exhale, we're going to hug the knees into the chest and then bring the arms around the knees. You might stay still or you might gently rock from side to side, getting a nice massage in the low back. If you're moving your knees back and forth, let's slowly bring the knees back together. And we're going to open the knees out wide. So arms are helping to open the knees. We're getting into the hips. You can stay still or you could gently circle the ankles in one direction and then the other. And then we're going to take a few breaths here, just in stillness. Just feeling that opening in the hips. Breathing, staying present. And then we'll inhale, bring the knees back together. We're going to keep that right knee hugged in, and we're going to extend the left leg out onto the mat. So left heel, left leg comes to the mat. So we're hugging that right knee in. You might stay here or might exhale, bring the forehead up towards the knee, getting a nice stretch in the upper and middle spine. So both feet are flexed here. If the head is lifted, slowly bringing the head back down. We're going to keep that right knee hugged in, and we're going to bring that left hand to the right knee, and we're going to bring that right knee over the body for a twist here. So trying to bring that right shoulder towards the mat. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling, maybe over to the right. Getting a nice twist here. Feeling that length in the right side of the body, the twist in the left. Inhale, bring that right knee back up to center. We'll hug both knees back in. And then we'll extend that right leg out onto the mat. So left knee hugs in, right leg extends, both feet are flexed. You might stay here, this might feel just right. Or you might exhale, bring the forehead up towards that left knee. Slow, deep breaths. And then if the head is lifted, slowly bringing the head back down. And then we're going to bring that left knee across the body. So right hand helps guide the left knee over to the right side. Left hand can come out to the side like a T. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or maybe over to the left, feeling this twist now. Length in the left side of the body and the twist in the right. Stay for 3 full breaths. Notice if you have any tension in your face or your jaw. And then release there. Next, inhale. We'll bring that left knee back to center. Hug both knees back in again. You can stay still. You can rock from side to side. Maybe you'd like to get deeper into the hips, coming into happy baby, shining the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Maybe grabbing the outsides of the feet, the ankles, behind the knees. You can stay still or rock from side to side. Just remember, see what your body needs this morning. And then wherever you have your knees or your hips, we're going to bring the knees back into the chest. And then we're going to bring that left foot onto the mat. Left knee stays up towards the ceiling, and then the right ankle comes to the top of the left knee. So this may be enough for you. You can use that right hand to gently guide the right knee away from the body. So we're trying to get a nice opening in the right hip here. If you want a little bit deeper, you're going to thread that right arm through the legs and then grab for the left shin or behind the left knee, hugging that left knee in. So whichever option you've chosen, let's keep that right foot flexed. Let's stay for 3 full breaths here. You might listen to the sound of the breath to keep you present. And then if you have that left knee hugged into the chest, you'll slowly bring the left knee down. And then we're going to bring that right foot back down onto the mat. Walk the feet out about mat's width apart, and then find a gentle windshield wiping of the knees back and forth. So each breath might take the knees side to side, or maybe you stay on one side for a few breaths. Getting a nice stretch in the lower body. And then we'll bring both knees back up to center, feet on the mat. Inhale that left knee in towards the body. Left ankle comes on top of that right knee or right thigh. You might stay here using that left hand to guide the left knee open. This might feel just right. Or you can thread the left arm through the legs, grabbing behind that right knee or the right shin, and hugging the right knee in towards the chest. So either option, please keep that left foot flexed, and we'll stay for 3 full breaths here. Notice if you have any tension in the face or the neck or the shoulders. Try to relax there. And then if the right knee's lifted, go ahead and slowly bring that right foot back down. We'll uncross the left ankle, bring both feet back down onto the mat. One more time, windshield wipe the knees back and forth, or you can hug the knees in and rock from side to side. And then we're gonna come up to a seat. So you have a few options. You can hug the knees in and rock back and forth a few times, coming up to a seat, or you can come to a fetal position and then slowly bring yourself up to a seat. So decide how you'd like to come up. And then we're gonna come to a cross-legged seat here. So you can sit like this, or if you'd like, you could sit on your knees. So see what would feel better for you. Take your time. So we're gonna sit up with a tall spine. We're gonna bring our shoulders up and then down the back. Let's do that a few more times, releasing any tension or tightness in the shoulders. And then we're gonna bring the hands back onto the knees. We're gonna do a little bit of movement for the shoulders and the neck. So inhale, lifting the chin up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bringing the chin down towards the chest. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, chin down towards the chest. Let's do that 2 more times, your timing. Eyes can be open or closed. Remember, letting the breath guide your movement. And then head slowly comes back to center. Inhale and center, and then exhale, bring the chin over to the right. Just look past the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist over to the left, gazing past the left shoulder. And then just go a few more times at your own pace. After your last look over to the left shoulder, we're going to bring the head back to center. And then we'll just do a few neck rolls. Slowly moving the head around. So you might hear some popping and cracking as long as there's no sharp shooting pain. Just releasing that tension. Next time your head is at center, take a pause. And then go in the opposite direction. You might notice one side's a little bit open compared to the other. And then next time your head comes back to center, take a pause again. And just notice if your neck feels a little bit different than before we did those movements. So we're gonna bring the arms down by the sides. We're gonna inhale, reach those arms up. Feel that stretch in the sides of the body, and then exhale, arms down. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, arms down. So head can stay at center, or you can reach the chin up as the arms come up. And then as the arms come down on an exhale, the chin might come in towards the chest. See what feels best for you. Let's do one more. Next time your arms reach up, let's stay there. We're going to interlace the fingers and then reach the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. And we're going to exhale, just tip over to the right a bit, getting a nice stretch in the left side of the body. Inhale back to center, and then exhale over to the left, getting a nice stretch in the right side of the body. Inhale back to center, release the fingers, and we're going to twist to the right, left hand on the right knee, right arm behind. 3 full breaths here. Next, inhale, we'll reach the arms back up towards the center. And then exhale over to the left, right hand to left knee, left arm behind. 3 full breaths here. Inhale, reach those arms back up. And we're going to bring the right hand down outside the right hip, and then we're going to tip over to the right with the left arm. So staying on both of the sits bones, let that right hand help you, reaching over to the right. Inhale, reach arms up. And then the left hand comes outside that left hip, and then exhale over to the left. So again, eyes can be open or closed, really reaching over to that left side, opening the right side of the body. And then inhale, reach arms back up. And then exhale, we're gonna fold forward. So you may hang out on the hands. Maybe you can come down onto the forearms. Maybe you stack the fists one on top of the other and the forehead comes down. So just do what feels good for your body today. Slow, deep breaths. Next, inhale, walk the hands back up. We're gonna bring the hands back outside the hips. We're gonna switch the cross of the legs. Come back to a straight spine here. And then exhale, find that forward fold now here. You may be able to go a little deeper on this side, maybe not as deep. Find what feels good for you. 3 full breaths here. Feel that stretch in the spine, maybe an opening in the hips. 1 more breath. Next, inhale, walk the hands back up. Hands come onto the knees. Take a breath here. And then we're gonna bring the arms up like cactus, okay? So palms spread wide, elbows pointing towards the ground. We're gonna inhale, open up here. So we're opening up through the chest and the shoulders. And then we're gonna exhale, bring the arms towards each other. Inhale, open up. And then exhale, come in towards the body. So let's do 2 more at your own pace. One more. And then hands come down by the hips. And then we're going to transition on to our hands and knees. So take your time. It's coming onto hands and knees. If anybody has any wrist sensitivity, you're welcome to come on to the forearms if that would be a little bit more helpful for you. So we're going to come into our tabletop. So fingers are spread wide apart. Wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. You can have the tops of the feet on the mat, or you can tuck your toes, your choice. And we're going to inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone. And then exhale, round the spine, chin into the chest for cat. Inhale. And exhale. And then just continue on your own pace. So we're bringing movement to the spine, bringing space between the vertebrae. Remember, you can do this on forearms as well. Let's do one more round. And then we'll all meet with a neutral spine, gaze down between the hands. Take a few breaths here. And then we're going to extend that right leg behind us. We're going to keep the right toes on the mat, and we're going to press back through that right heel, getting a nice stretch in the back of that right leg. And we're pressing the mat away with the hands. You can do this on your forearms as well. And then we're going to bring that right leg over to the left side of the mat. The right foot might even come off the mat. And then we're going to exhale to the left, looking towards the right toes. So we're getting a nice stretch on the right side of the body here. If your gaze is over to the left, let's bring that back to center, and then bring that right leg back. And then come back to tabletop. We'll do that on the other side. Exhale, extending the left leg out. So keeping the left toes on the mat, pressing back through that left heel. Nice opening in the back of the left leg. Pressing the mat away with the hands or the forearms, wherever you are. We're going to exhale, bring the left leg over to the right side, so that right or the left foot might come off the mat. And then if you'd like the twist, you can exhale to the right, looking to the left foot. Inhale, bring the head back to center if it was over to the right, and then left leg comes back, come back to table, and then exhale back to child's pose for a few breaths. So knees can be together here, and the arms down by your sides, palms face up. Knees can be wide apart, big toes come towards each other, they may touch, and the arms can extend forward. Take a few breaths here in child's pose. And this is a pose you can come to at any time if you need a little rest. If the knees are wide apart, let's bring them back together. We're going to come back into table. We're going to inhale, extend that right leg behind us. And then exhale, bring the right knee in towards the nose. Inhale, extend, and then exhale, come inward. Let's do one more. And then we bring that right knee back down, come back to table, take a breath. Inhale, extend the left leg, and then exhale, bring the left knee in towards the nose. 3 more times. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come forward. And then left knee comes back down to table. Take a breath here. Exhale back into child's pose. This time I'm going to ask that you bring the knees together. And we're going to exhale, walk the arms over to the left side. So hands come off the mat. Forehead might come down towards the floor, maybe it touches. So we're getting a nice stretch now on the right side of the body here. 3 full breaths. Inhale, lift the head back up. Exhale, walk through the center and then over to the right side. Hands will most likely come off the mat, and then bring the head down. Maybe the head touches, maybe not. Bringing a nice stretch now on the left side of the body. 3 full breaths. Inhale, lift the head back up. Exhale, walk the hands back to center. One more breath here in child's pose. Inhale, back up to table. Take a breath here. And then exhale, we're gonna lift the right leg off the mat this time. So right leg's extended behind us. The foot is flexed. We're pressing down through the palms. You can also do this in forearm. You might stay here, or you might bring that left arm outside the left ear for balance. Make sure you're breathing here. So we're working on the core here, strengthening the legs, arm. If the left arm is lifted, bring the left hand back, and then rebend that right knee back to table. Take a breath or two. And then exhale, extend the left leg behind us. So left leg is lifted off the mat. Left toes flex, pointing down towards the mat. Pressing the mat away with the hands. So this might feel just right. Or you might bring that right arm outside the right ear. Reaching the right hand in front for balance. Breathing here. And then if the right arm's lifted, bring the right hand down, rebend the left knee, exhale. If you need child's pose, take a few breaths here. If you want to stay in table, you can. Maybe you want to come in downward facing dog if that's in your practice. So lifting up. So you can be in child's, table, downward facing dog. What does your body need? Does it need more stimulation? Does it need more rest? And then we'll all meet in table wherever we are. So we're going to extend that right leg behind us, and then we're going to lunge that right foot up between the hands. Okay, you might need to walk it up. Okay, and you might walk that left knee back a bit. So we're getting a nice stretch in the front of that left leg. We're going to plant the left hand down on the mat, and we're going to twist to the right. So right hand comes to the right knee, and we twist over to the right. You might look to your right shoulder, maybe look up towards the ceiling. If you're twisting, exhale, come back down. And then we're going to walk the hands back and come into a stretch here. So right foot points up towards the ceiling. And we're getting a nice stretch in the back of that right leg. If that's too much for you, you can stay in the lunge. Inhale, walk the hands back up. One hand on either side of that right foot. And then exhale, we're going to bring that right knee back into table. Take a breath here. Inhale, extend the left leg behind us. Exhale, bend that left knee, lunge that foot through. You can walk it up if you need to. And then walk that right knee back a bit so you get a nice stretch in the front of that right leg here. We're going to plant the right hand down onto the mat. Twist to the left. Left hand comes to the left knee, and then slowly twist to the left. You might look to the left elbow, maybe up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. Inhale back to center. Left hand comes back outside that left foot. We're going to walk the hands back and then come into an opening for the back of that left leg. Left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. A few more breaths. This might be really intense for some of us. I know I have really tight hamstrings. So just come where you can. Your knee, it's totally fine to be bent. Inhale back to center, both hands outside that left foot. And then we're going to bring that left knee back to table. We're going to tuck the toes. And we're going to exhale back into downward facing dog. So fingers are spread wide. Your heels do not have to touch the mat. You might walk out your dog, bending one knee as you straighten the other leg. Next inhale, we're going to bring the gaze up between the hands, and we're going to step the right foot up, step the left foot up to a forward fold. Put a nice bend in the knees, releasing the low back here. Make sure both of the feet are evenly spread out on the mat. We're going to inhale, lift up halfway, hands come to the shins. And then exhale, fold forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, hands to the shins, open the chest, and then exhale forward. The next inhale, we're going to reach the arms up alongside the ears, and then exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to do 3 half sun salutations here, okay? So make sure your feet are firmly planted on the mat, hands come to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands to the shins, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Press down to the feet as you inhale, reach the arms up alongside the ears, palms come towards each other, they might touch. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands to the shins, flat back. Open the heart, exhale forward. Press down to the feet as you inhale, reach the arms up. Palms come towards each other, they might touch. And then exhale, hands to the heart. One more time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward. Let's stay here for a few breaths in our forward fold. You might grab opposite elbows and gently rock from side to side. Maybe you just let the hands rest on the mat. Maybe you hug behind the legs. See what would feel best for you here. One more breath. And then we're going to slowly roll up through the spine. So placing the weight on the feet and then rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Head comes up last. Take a few breaths here in mountain pose. Just notice how you feel. And inhale, reach the arms up. Right hand grabs the left wrist and we exhale over to the right side. Nice opening in the left side body. Inhale, reach back up. Left hand takes the right wrist and we exhale over to the left. Nice opening in the right side of the body. Inhale back up. Come back to those cactus arms that we did earlier. Inhale here, exhale, fold forward. 2 more. Opening the chest. Exhale forward. 1 more. And then come back to mountain pose. We're going to do a few standing balancing poses before we come back down onto the mat. So we're going to start with that right leg. So we're going to ground those right feet into the mat. Hands can come to the hips. And we're just going to lift that left foot off of the mat. So this might be enough for you. Maybe you bring the knee up. Maybe you hug the knee in towards the body. So in balancing poses, you want to find your drishti or your gaze. You can stare at something down on the floor or in front of you. So we're going to have a tall spine here. You may stay here. You might open that left hip out to the left side. Right hand comes onto the right side of the body here. If you fall, that's okay. You can come back in. If the left knee is open to the left, let's bring it back to center and then bring that left foot down and then just walk it out a bit. And then we'll come to the second side. So grounding down through that left foot now, okay? So you may just lift the right heel off the mat, maybe the right foot, maybe you bend the right knee, maybe you hug the knee in. A lot of options. Find your gaze, tall spine. Make sure you're breathing. You might stay here. You might open the right knee out to the side, bringing the left hand to the left hip. Full breaths here. If the right knee is open to the right side, let's bring it back to center and then slowly bring that right foot down. You can walk it out if you need to. And then we're going to come to tree pose. So we're going to start on the right foot again. Okay. So first option is left heel to the right ankle. Maybe you bring the left foot to the bottom part of the right leg, or maybe you bring the left foot to the right thigh. But just make sure there's no pressure on the right knee, okay? So arms can stay down. You could bring them to the heart. You could have branches. So just breathing. If you have wall space, you're welcome to use the wall if you need help with balancing. So again, make sure you're breathing. It's really easy to hold your breath in a balancing pose. Balancing poses are really helpful to give our mind something to anchor on. If the arms are lifted, let's bring the arms back down to the hips and release that left foot wherever it was on the body. Walk out the feet a little bit. And we'll come to tree on the second side. So grounding down now through the left foot. So this is the first step, right heel to left ankle. Right foot can come to the lower left leg, or you can bring it up to the left thigh, but please remember no pressure on that knee. Hands can come wherever they feel best on this side. So really pressing that right foot into wherever you are on the left leg. Breathing. Smiling maybe. And then if the arms are lifted, go ahead and bring them back down to the hips. So release that right foot and walk it out a bit. And then we'll bring ourselves back down onto the mat. So we'll come back to mountain pose. We're going to inhale, reach those arms up. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward. We're going to come back through downward facing dog. So bring the hands out in front. one leg, the other, back through downward facing dog. One last nice stretch, the entire body. And then we'll slowly bend the knees. So we have a few ways to come back down onto our back. You can cross the feet and then walk the body back through like this, or you can come to sit on one hip and then swing the legs out in front of you. Okay, so we're all going to come to a seated position. Both legs extended out in front of us. We're going to inhale, reach those arms up, and then exhale, come into a forward fold. You do not have to touch your toes. You can bring the hands outside of the thighs, knees, wherever the hands come. Feeling that nice stretch in the backs of the legs. Eyes can be open or closed. Inhale, slowly come back to center. We're going to keep that left knee straight, or left leg straight. And we're going to bend the right knee and place the sole of the right foot into the inner left thigh. We're going to inhale, reach those arms up, and then exhale over the left leg. So again, hands can come wherever they come. Let that right knee just relax down to the side. Inhale, slowly come back up. Straighten the right leg, bend the left leg, sole of the left foot comes into the inner right thigh. Turn the torso towards the right leg, reach those arms up, and then exhale, find your fold on this side. So again, just wherever the hands land on the right leg is fine. Just make sure you're breathing. One more breath here. Release wherever the hands are. Slowly roll up through the spine. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. So for a deeper stretch, you'll bring the heels in really close to the body. For a less deep stretch, you're going to bring the feet out towards the bottom of the mat. So find what would feel best for you. So you might grab onto the ankles. That would feel good to you. Straight spine here. So we're continuing to try to open the hips here. You might stay lifted, or you might try a forward fold. See what would feel best in your body this morning. Wherever you are, we'll take 3 full breaths here. If you're bowed forward, slowly lift back up. Use the hands to bring the knees back together. We're going to come on to our back. So you can press down through the feet, reach the arms out in front of you, and slowly use the core to bring yourself back onto your back. Or you can hug the knees in and rock and roll back a few times. So however you'd like to get yourself onto the back, go ahead and do that. So onto the back, knees bent, soles of the feet onto the mat. Beginning to wind down a few more poses until we come to Shavasana. So just feel the feet on the mat, knees pointed up towards the ceiling, hugging both knees into the chest. Arms come out to a T, and then exhale, bring the knees over to the left. Right knee stacks on top of the left. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or maybe over the right. Listening to the sound of your breath. Inhale, bring the knees back to center, head back to center. And then exhale, twist over to the right. Left knee stacks on top of the right. Gaze can be really anywhere you'd like it. For a deeper twist, you can bring the gaze over the left shoulder. One more breath here. Inhale, head comes back to center, knees come back to center. We'll hug them in. Again, maybe rocking from side to side. And then we're gonna come into bridge pose to Bandhasana. So knees point up towards the ceiling, feet are on the floor. And you walk the heels up enough so that when you reach the hands out, your fingers can touch the heels. So arms are down by our sides. Next inhale, breathe in. And then exhale, lift the knees, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. You might keep the arms where they are. You might tuck one shoulder under and then the other shoulder grabbing for the hands. Make sure once you're in this pose, you don't move the neck. So we're pressing down through the feet. Knees point to the front of the room. So this is a back bend here. It's a heart opening pose. It's an energizing pose. One more breath. If the shoulders are tucked under the body one at a time, bring them out from under the shoulders and then roll down vertebra by vertebra. And letting the back come down onto the body. So you can choose your last pose before Shavasana. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet together, bring the knees out wide. Maybe you come into Happy Baby, bringing the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Or maybe you just hug the knees in and rock from side to side. So take a few breaths in whichever pose you've chosen to be in. So if you're in Happy Baby or the knees are into the chest, we're going to bring the feet down onto the mat. If you're in butterfly pose, bring the knees back together. And then we slowly slide one leg out, then the other, coming into Shavasana. Arms come out to the sides. Maybe you prefer to lay on one side in Shavasana with the arm extended out. As usual, just ask yourself what you need. We'll spend a few minutes here in Shavasana. Eyes can be open or closed, your choice. Just trying to let all that goodness that we just practiced soak into the body. And coming back to that breath that we focused on in the beginning of the practice. Maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. It's wherever feels most comfortable for you. We'll spend a minute or two in silence, just knowing that when the mind wanders, as it will, just notice kindly and bring your focus and attention back to your breath, back to your body lying on the mat. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Bring some gentle movement back to your body. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe rocking the head gently from side to side. And then gently rolling onto one side of your body, coming into the fetal position. And when you're ready, you can slowly come up to a comfortable seat of your choice. We'll You can sit cross-legged, you can sit on the knees if you'd like. And then we'll just end the practice with one last breath together. So bring the hands down by the hips. We'll inhale, reach the arms up. Palms touch. And then exhale, bring the hands back to your heart center. So thank you all for sharing this practice with me this morning. Thank you for allowing me to guide you. And most importantly, thanking yourself for taking the time to come to your mat. In a traditional yoga class, we end with bowing the head to the heart space, saying namaste. So if you'd like to do that, you can join me. Namaste.